Lights, 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 lights. More lights to check out. Stay right there. We'll be right back. All right, we have another, this is going to be a budget lighting kit from JYVAEER, 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 something like that. They sent this to me, wanted me to check it out, and I love budget lights. So I'm like, sure. You know, I get a lot of comments from people that they want to know what lights to buy to get started, and the proliferation of budget lights out there right now is phenomenal. And the quality keeps getting better, the features keep getting better, and I think the value today that you can get is pretty phenomenal. So we're gonna dig into this one. This is the RGB 800 Pro. These are RGB panels. So let's see what all we have in here. So everything is just nicely packaged, I gotta say. I mean, there's nothing that seems loose. Everything is in a bag of some kind. So I think this is power supplies. Okay. Oh, okay. So, of course, it's just using a standard 15 volt, 4 amp power supply. Not a very long power cord. In most applications where you've got your lights, you know, 5 or 6 feet off the ground, your power supply is going to be hanging in midair. So, surprised? No. That is pretty much every light I have tested over the last couple years. The power cord side is too short. It's not a deal breaker. They're all like that. Strap it up to your light stand, you know, something I really hate that they just kind of expect that this weight is going to be hanging off for you. Let's take a look at the light stands. Again, each light stand is in its own kind of velvet bag. Okay, we got pretty standard light stands here. Okay, yeah, they're not air cushioned, but again, to be expected on a $230 kit. All right, not a bad size, as long as the lights aren't, I'm gonna scooch over here. As long as the lights aren't too heavy, this will be just fine. So I'm gonna bring this one up here. So when we get a light out, we'll be able to put it on here. So 2 light stands, 2 power cords. Flip this over. We have 2 more bags of goodies. The only thing that's not in its own carrying bag is the remote control. Let's take a look. Of course, no batteries in it. It takes 3 AAA batteries. So we'll have to find some batteries for that. Looks a lot like a little older Apple TV remote. It actually looks pretty nice. And let's take a look at the lights. Well, I hear metal, so that's good. Okay, we got metal barn doors here. We have a diffuser panel. It slides in. Now, this one's got a little crack on it. Not a huge deal. I mean, it should never really come out, and it's definitely not going to affect anything. Just sits in there nice. On the back, we've got spots for 2 Sony NPF stop. I'm going to put this on here so I don't have to hold it. And there we go. Great. So we got spots for 2 Sony NPF style batteries. We got the power input. We've got our dim, which is not stepless. There's detents in there, so it's like click, 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 click. We have our probably our color temperature over here. Same thing. It's got these little detents in it. We got our mode button and our power switch. It's a 3-position power, so one position is going to be your AC power, the other position is going to be the batteries, and then you have the off position. Let's get this thing plugged in. Now, once we've got power to it, we'll go ahead and flip the switch on here, and I mean, we see CCT 10%, 7900 Kelvin. We'll go ahead and adjust that. Take that to like 5600 for our daylight. It goes in 100K increments with the way this dial is. Hit mode. We can get into our different modes here. Visual effects, CCT. This is going to be nitpicky, but for both the color temperature and the brightness, you scroll down to move the value up. So I'm having to scroll down to make it brighter. That's going in 1% increments. There's 100% right there. Like I said, it's really nitpicky, but you know, it wasn't intuitive right off the front. I would expect you scroll up to take a value up. Okay, like I said, not that big of a deal. What I am seeing here is I can't see the screen. I mean, I only have some studio lights on in here, and this thing is like barely readable, and that's unfortunate. I've never seen a screen on a light that is so dim. I mean, I was like picking at it to see if there was like some film or something on it, you know, that I could peel off, but that's really a negative. If I was outdoors, there is no way I could see that screen. Not a chance. Even in a brighter room, you're just really not going to see that screen. And that's a real bummer, because otherwise, I mean, I said for what they are, they're not bad. Their metal construction, the diffuser seems to be just fine. We'll move that back into place here. Everything about them seems to be pretty good. It's really just that screen. And if I'm not looking like straight on at it, if I'm at any angle, literally cannot see it. Small bummer, but for the price, that's not horrible. Now, let's take a quick look at the manual here. Now, in many cases, when we're looking at lights like this and the interface is pretty poor, you can give it a break. You know, you can cut them a lot of slack if there's a better way of doing it. And with like some of the suit photo lights and things, their app is fantastic and it just works and it's so easy to use. I'm not seeing that there is any app available for these lights. Nope, nothing mentioned as far as an app. So let's look at the remote. On off, our mode, up and down for the brightness, left and right for the color temperature, hue, saturation, hue up, hue down, saturation up and down. So pretty easy to control from the remote. You just can't see what the values are. And that, like I said, is a little unfortunate. But from here, as long as, like I said, as long as I can see it, there we're getting into the greens. A lot of scrolling if you're doing it from the wheel back here. Yellows, reds. And then the other one is going to be your brightness. Again, a lot of scrolling on here if you're doing it from the back. We'll get into the effects here. This one's called Flash. Flash fast. And looks like we can control the brightness. Okay. TV. Always a, I don't know why this one's still included in things, but whatever. Candle. It's actually not a bad candle. Flame. Flame 2. Police. Okay, I don't know what police uses flashing red and green. I mean, these are definitely green. They're not blue. Police should be red and blue. And it's one, two, it's like 3 flashes of one, 3 flashes of the other, and then a pause. So I don't know any police that uses that sequence, nor that uses green lights. Ambulance. Oh, flame. I've got to go the other way. Ambulance. Again, green and red. Doesn't make any sense. Fire truck. Oh, flashing red. Okay. Strobe lights. I mean, this is yellow. This is not white. It's kind of odd. And I don't have any control over it. Strobe lights too. It's very, very yellow, not white. 3, chase. Okay, I think these are supposed to be RGB chases. Very slow. Chase fast. Okay. Fireworks. Okay, we got a red firework. A red firework. Okay, so I guess you get strobing red with that. Okay, firework 2, we get red and green. Just red and green. Firework 3, a little more action there. Red, red, red. Okay. Club scene. All right, we got the disco going now. Club 2. Romantic. Not sure. Flash. Again, the flash is yellow. Okay. We'll get out of that. So, essentially, the special effects are, in my opinion, fairly worthless. As they are on many of the RGB lights, this one, they make no sense. Where lights should be red and blue, they're red and green. Where they should be white, they're yellow. So if you're buying it for the special effects, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you're buying it for the light, yeah, okay, fine. You know, I think that's pretty good. Let's turn around. We'll see some value here. Let's got a 44%. I'm going to crank that down a little bit. It's nice. You've got the barn doors to kind of help shape the light, and the diffuser panel on here. So it just kind of gives it a softer edge. It's not quite as harsh. You're not going to see the detail of the LED lights in there. So, like I said, it's not bad. It's a good value kit because you get the carrying case, a remote, 2 lights, 2 light stands, everything you need for a 2-light kit. The only downside really is those special effects. And like I said, if that's what you want, it's probably not the right choice. Look at other reviews of other products and look at their special effects. Most RGB lights get police and fire wrong. So don't be surprised. This one is just way off. Just in terms of a basic RGB panel light, this is fine. Now, you're not going to use this outside. There's not enough power. This is a studio setup. This is where you're just trying to light some subjects for like an interview or something. In that case, it's going to work just fine. For product photography, it's going to work just fine. It certainly has its purpose. An outside light during the day to add some fill light, not going to work. It's just not bright enough. In fact, most of the lights I own are not bright enough for that. So we will use bounces, we'll use reflectors and things because the lights are really just not bright enough to overcome daylight until you get into like a 600 watt light. So for small, portable, budget friendly, 230 bucks, can't go wrong there. I think this is a good choice. Has a few drawbacks, but not showstoppers by any means, unless you're really going to have OCD about the dials being kind of upside down and not being able to see the screen. That's kind of a problem. But since the lights aren't bright enough to use in an outdoor setting, you're not going to have them in that situation where you're not really going to be able to see the screen. If you're in a room like this, it's fairly well lit. You can see the screen as long as you're looking directly at it. It's just not a very bright screen. And that's the only major drawback to it. The special effects, I'm going to call that a wash because I really don't care about those. I've only used that once in one situation, and I had to find the lights that had the right police look to them so that we could make that scene work properly. Other than that, all the rest of my RGB lights are completely different with their special effects, so they were unusable. It's a whole other story. But I think these, not too shabby. Never heard of the company before. JYVAEER, JYVAEER, something like that. I wish they would have told me how to pronounce it, but I think you'll like them. They're not a bad product. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been Kerry with Filmmaker Central. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.